everybody, and welcome back to MrMFretwell Plays Minecraft. And in today's episode, my plan is to kind of finish up all the stuff we've been doing lately with the ocean monument. I got the name right, haha. What we're going to do is we've got a few things to talk about and a few things to look at in terms of crafting recipes and a little bit more to explore and that kind of thing. And hopefully we will be able to wrap that up completely today. If we get a little bit more time, depending on how long the episode's length is, then we may look at something else. But we'll see. We'll just have to see how things go. So, I did a little bit of research into the ocean monument after we finished last episode, episode 152. And I found that the sponges are the main treasure to be found in the temples, but also there is 8 gold blocks to be found, so we're going to go ahead and find those before the end of the episode, and we'll do something fun. Maybe we'll make a notch apple or something out of them. So not really that useful, but it is something, I guess. I mean, I kind of read it a little bit into what Jeb said about loot, and I get what he's saying. It would have been nice though, maybe to find some enchanted books or something, maybe, but nonetheless we have to be satisfied with what we get. So beyond that, there is also some crafting recipes involving these guys to make the different blocks here. I don't have any ink sacks, I don't believe. Maybe there's some squid around nearby. If I could get some ink sacks, I could show you one of the crafting recipes. Yeah, here we go. That requires ink sacks. That is the dark prismarine. There we go. That'll be plenty. I only need to craft really one of them, so yeah. So I did some research into the crafting recipes of these things, the different blocks that you can find, and that's kind of the reward as well in itself. I also did a little bit of research into the Guardians, and the big guys we killed last episode are called an Elder Guardian. We didn't miss out on any drops or anything that were rare. The sponges are the main thing. Well, maybe we'll mess around with some of these too. They drop fish as well, just like the regular Guardians. So that is regular prismarine, and we already have plenty of that. This here is prismarine bricks. These shards, by the way, you get from killing the Guardians, the regular ones. For a sea lantern, which is actually the light block, I believe you have to do that. Yeah, there we go, sea lantern. And you can only collect these normally with a silk touch tool. So I guess we'll craft one of those and mess around with it later. If you don't, you get these crystals. And they're all the blocks that I believe naturally generate. You can't make slabs out of them or anything like that. They are just a standard block. The animation that we talked about last episode is true, but it plays over 5 minutes and 30 seconds. The dark prismarine you craft by putting the prismarine shards around the edge and then the ink sac in the middle, and you get one. That seems quite expensive, but maybe I've just not been around it enough now that we've gotten rid of the Elder Guardians, maybe. But honestly, these seem kind of expensive, and I honestly don't know where you would use them too much, to be honest. But it's still cool, nonetheless. I don't know anything about these sponges yet, so we're going to mess around with those. And then I guess after that, probably what we will do is we will collect the gold blocks, make a notch apple or whatever we want to do out of it. And then, depending on how much time we've got, we might go ahead and do something else. I also rearranged some of my inventory, brewed up some more potions and that kind of thing, ready for the journey back. Honestly, I don't think there's too much more than just these sponges to talk about, so maybe we'll look at something else. I have a few other things I want to mess around with. So, for these sponges then, actually, before we go anywhere, I wonder if these actually do anything, because the fact that they're a wet sponge tells me that it's probably not going to do much. Now, the old sponge used to clear out water in a 5x5x5. I'm looking around for a water pool that we could test on, but I don't think these are going to do too much, honestly. They just kind of look decorative to me. Though I think I read somewhere while I was looking at the monument stuff that these are actually somehow useful in water construction. so we might want to mess around with that a little bit too. I'm not really sure where the nearest water pool is, really. We may just have to do it in the river. Oh, here we go. This will do. I don't really need anything extensive to test with. It doesn't do anything. Well, at least not on first sight. You can't right-click it. What do you mine it up with? Just your fist? I don't think it has a tool, so you don't have to worry about that, and you get that back. Now, I'm wondering if you have to make that a regular sponge somehow, because of the fact that it's wet, and you can kind of reverse it into a sponge. So the obvious thing to try first would be to put it in a furnace. That would dry it out, I would think. Again, this is Minecraft logic though, that might not have anything to do with it, and it could be something completely different. Whoops. So I guess we'll try drying some of these out in a furnace, see if that does anything. Do we have any coal in these? No. Let's just grab some of this coal here. So, let me just put some in here and some in there. And obviously, if we want to be efficient about it, we'll grab 8 sponges. Whoops. And put those in the furnace here. Ah, okay. Interesting. So, now what we could probably do is actually put another 8 in here. Ah, now you get a sponge. Okay. And that's what a sponge looks like, and we can compare it next to a wet sponge. Interesting. I was told this has an animation. It kind of looks like it has. Probably a bit. Oh, is it only when you punch it, maybe? It might be the case. Yeah. Interesting. Okay. So let's grab some regular sponges then. And let's try them out on that. Whoops. On that water pool. So let's head back over here and see what it does. I'm assuming probably what this is basically the old sponge now available in survival mode, and the idea is that you have to clear out, well, dry out the wet sponges that you get from the ocean temple. Oh wow. I was not expecting that. Now if I put one down here, Pam, it's gone. That is pretty powerful, actually. That would be really, really useful for clearing out water in underground spaces. But that was only 1 block high. What happens if, say we have something here with these? Okay. So, probably it was as I was suspected. It's kind of like a 5x5 cube, essentially. This is how these work, and then I assume you can kind of dry them out over and over, which is why I don't need that many, because you could just reuse them. So, let's try and clear out this entire water pool, maybe, and see how many sponges it takes. So we've already used 3. Now, obviously, if there's 1 water source block, that's probably more my placement than the actual ability to clear out the water. So I'll probably just use dirt blocks or maybe cobblestone to fill those in if we need to, being as we have a number of them probably dried now. That's a weird bug, like the door kind of gets glitched there. I'm not sure what that's all about, to be honest. So let's head back over to that water pool again and see if we can dry it out with our newly acquired sponges. This, though, on first sight, does seem useful and kind of makes the reward for the monument more useful, because if you want to explore that, you're either going to need to have a need for the blocks, which is probably not too common, or you might want to, for example, do something underwater, construction-y based, maybe out of that. Maybe it could be useful in drying out one of those to make a farm out of or whatever. I did hear about the fact that you can farm the guardians, so maybe that's what these are used for, possibly. I'm just kind of putting out ideas at this point. That's interesting. The water kind of refills if there's source blocks around. See here, I can get rid of that. We've got 7 left. So I guess it only clears out maybe 1 block above, something like that. So you'd have to put a block down and then a sponge, something like that, to clear this out effectively. You kind of have these other random little source blocks around, but this would really help in clearing out area as far as underwater is concerned. Like, we've pretty much emptied this entire pond very, very quickly. If I'd have had more sponges with me, I wouldn't have had to go back either. And just do that, and you get rid of those, and there's like a couple over here that maybe need moving. Yeah, these. And almost instantly, this entire pond is basically dried out now. So this could actually be really handy. Saves a lot of time putting down sand or blocks or whatever and then clearing stuff out. This is actually really, really useful. So I think it's a worthy addition, and I think that this actually has some practical applications, which is something that some of the other loot doesn't really have that you get out of structures. Obviously enchanted books do, but I'm talking about things like, I guess, name tags and things like that. They don't have too much practical use in survival mode, but stuff like this definitely does. Oh, that's a wet sponge. That's right. Can't use those, and then one over here should do the trick. There we go. So with only a few sponges, we were able to fully clear out this pond here. Then I could harvest the sand out of this if I wanted to, or I could do any multitude of things with this now. So that's quite interesting, I have to say. The sponges do seem more useful than perhaps I thought on first sight. So now, let's go ahead and we'll put these sponges away, and we'll probably head over to the monument and I'll pick up those gold blocks next. We'll do that. So, I will meet you over there. Ow. So, I collected the 8 gold blocks. Now I know what I was looking for. That was not hard to find at all. It was just behind the ladder well there in the back of the temple. So that's pretty much it as far as the ocean monument here is concerned. There's not a whole lot more to it. The only reason I would ever want to come back here is if I wanted to farm the guardians. There's no more elder guardians. I can't collect any more sponges. So that's pretty much it as far as I'm concerned. If there's anything I've missed, let me know, but I think that's pretty much it as far as I'm concerned. So I don't think we'll be coming back here for some time, honestly, because I don't need to be messing with this right now beyond just exploring it. So it's been a lot of fun. I'm going to head back, but actually before I do so, there's something I wanted to try out. I read something, I believe it was on the wiki, and I also saw it in one of Mondo's videos, that sheep are meant to drop mutton now. Yes, they do. Look at that. Raw mutton. And I assume if you put this in a furnace, you would get cooked mutton. Interesting. Very, very cool. So, another little nugget of information there. Nugget. I'm probably the only person who got that joke, but it was referencing food items. But it would have only made more sense if I was killing chickens. But there we go. So that's pretty much it, I think. I'm gonna head back to the hut now, and we'll probably do something fun with these gold blocks, and then maybe we'll call it an episode. I think we have enough footage. I did look back at the amount of footage we had, and we had about 12 minutes initially, and this will probably put another 5-6 on, and then finishing the episode back at the cabin with the fun with the gold blocks might be enough for this Wednesday's episode. I am thinking, however, it's time to probably start and think forwards beyond just messing around, because while it is fun checking out all these different things, I came out here deliberately to explore, and we haven't really done too much exploring. I mean, yeah, we've explored that, but that's only a small structure in the entire world, so I would like to probably get on and do some exploring, take a walk. So maybe in the next couple of episodes we'll begin to think about doing that. But for now, I'm going to head back to the hut. Just to verify, it does indeed make cooked mutton, and we're kind of hungry, so I want to try see how much this restores. I thought so. 3. This is probably quite similar to chicken. Not quite as good as steak, but still pretty good. Nice to know now that if you kill sheep, you actually get something for doing that, as opposed to just shearing them. Pretty useful early game, I'd say, if you want some food and you only have sheep around. So I'll let that finish cooking up, and I guess we'll make a notch apple, or as I believe it's actually called, the enchanted golden apple. There it is. Oh, and I got an achievement. What was that? Overpowered. Build a notch apple. Very nice. How are we looking on the achievement pane now? Oh, that's off the getting an upgrade. That's interesting. I still have a lot of achievements I've not got. Obviously, we can't get any of these, so I'm not worried about those for right now. Enchantment stuff. I've enchanted stuff. Oh, you have to make an enchantment table. Okay, that makes sense. Overkill, librarian, throw diamonds at a zombie, the rail one, killing a skeleton from 50 meters. Oh, we could do the fish achievement, because I actually have fish now. I could do that. Is that going to be enough to cook? Probably not. Probably not enough juice left in that. No. That's interesting. The furnace goes back now as opposed to being completely removed. So that's interesting. You do have a little bit of time to get something in there. You know what? I've been wanting to get rid of that for such a long time. I think it's probably an actual worthwhile use of that. So that's pretty much it for the ocean monument. We've kind of checked everything out now. Oh, I guess the one thing we haven't done is mess around with the sea lantern and its light level. Do I have my silk touch? Yeah, here we go. Let's, while it's nighttime, do some experimentation with this. Oh, hello. No, I don't want any, thanks. Let's see. Interesting. Look at that. That also has a little animation too. It kind of ripples. It's pretty cool, I have to say. And if you mine that with a silk touch, you get it back. Pretty awesome. I don't know as I would have too many uses for that, but still. Very, very interesting, I have to say. And I'm gonna put my enchanted golden or notch apple, as people call it, away for now. With my potions and stuff like that, and I'm gonna get prepared to do the next thing. There we go. I cooked a fish. I guess that's one more reason why you'd want to visit that if you don't like fishing, I suppose. I have these glass bottles I'll put up there. Now I have this wool that I don't know what to do with because of killing the sheep. Never mind. So, I think that's going to be pretty much it, guys. A little bit shorter episode than normal today, but I don't really think it's appropriate to get into something else. I think we've kind of finished a major topic now, so it kind of makes sense, at least to me, to call the episode here. I'm thinking next episode, I would like to mess around with a few other things. One thing I was reminded of on my way back is I actually saw some rabbits. We haven't actually messed around with those yet, so it might be kind of cool to check those out while we have them. I've not really seen them in large groups though, so it might be kind of tricky, but we'll see what we can do as far as that's concerned. So I think that's going to be the next thing we're going to look at, and after that I think I will do that exploring that I have wanted to do for quite some time. So I hope you've enjoyed today's episode, guys. Again, I apologise for it being a little bit shorter than normal, but I feel this is a good time to end it, having just completed the topic. So I hope that you've enjoyed, and I hope to see you in the next episode. So until then, guys, see you later, and have a good day.